Welcome to this video. Today, we are going to create a development container on Windows using a WSL distro. This container will have GPU pass-through enabled and include PyTorch optimized to leverage your host GPU for accelerated computations. Whether you are a data scientist, a developer, or just exploring cutting-edge tools, this guide will help you harness GPU power in your dev container. Before we start, let's make sure we have the following prerequisites: Ubuntu 22.04 installed with your WSL distro, Docker Desktop installed and configured to integrate with Ubuntu 22.04, and AMD ROCm WSL driver, which can be installed by following AMD's guide. I am currently using Visual Studio Code with the WSL extension enabled. You can see in the bottom left corner it mentions WSL Ubuntu 22.04. Additionally, in the top center there's a text indicating I am connected to WSL. This ensures we are operating within the correct context for our development container setup. For GPU pass-through, we need to install the AMD GPU driver for WSL. AMD provides an excellent guide on their website, which I have open here. To save time, we'll skip the initial installation steps and jump to confirming the setup. Once the driver is installed, the next step is to verify the installation using the rocm info command. Here I'm running rocm info in my WSL terminal. This command queries the GPU and driver setup in the rocm environment. If the output lists your GPU details, your setup is complete and ready for the next steps. Before diving into the dev container, let's verify the setup with the pre-built AMD Radeon PyTorch container. Let's run these commands to pull the container and test GPU support. If true is printed, your setup is working correctly. Now let's configure our development container. We won't walk through creating the files from scratch, but I will explain the key components of this configuration. devcontainer.json. This file defines the container environment. Here we use the pre-built AMD RCM image. We pass GPU-related arguments like device equals dev.dxg to enable GPU pass-through. These mounts bind host files like GPU drivers into the container for compatibility. We have added ZSH and plugins for an enhanced shell experience. This script ensures your global Git configuration is set before the container starts, avoiding potential issues with committing code. This script adds ZSH auto suggestions to your ZSH configuration for better developer productivity. Let's build and test our container. We will run the Python code to check the GPU availability. We see through, your GPU pass-through is working and PyTorch is ready to use. Before we wrap up, let's emphasize a few critical points about setting up the AMD GPU driver for WSL. Follow the AMD installation guide closely. Ensure you carefully follow all the steps outlined in the guide for downloading and installing the driver. Check GPU compatibility. Currently, only AMD's top-tier GPUs, such as the Pro Series and 7000 series GPUs, are supported. Make sure your GPU is compatible before proceeding. Use the recommended WSL distro. AMD explicitly supports Ubuntu 22.04 for this setup. While other distros might work, sticking to their recommendation ensures a smoother experience. Skipping these checks could lead to unexpected issues, so take the time to confirm your hardware and follow the guide step by step. Let's do a recap. In this video, we set up an AMD GPU driver for WSL, verified GPU support with a pre-built PyTorch container, configured and tested a dev container with GPU Passthrough and PyTorch installed. We now have a robust, GPU-powered development environment. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.